Yeah, all systems go, 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 and go. What's going on, world? It's your man, Pat Caesar LLC, mobile mechanic and roadside services. And it's been a while, man. I've been out here grinding.
Promise you you'll catch me. Promise you you'll catch me.
That is grinding. But I actually been out of the country, man. I had to make a stop out, to the Rock. And I'm back on the ground right now, and I'm in a customer car who is getting code P015a, P014D and C, I believe, and also P015B. So there was a 15A and B, I believe, and a P014 C and D. And it is a 2015 Nissan Altima. I'm actually in the car right now. Just gonna let you guys know how this whole thing went. So this video is actually primarily to answer a question that somebody asked me not too long ago. They said, Pat, is it worth it becoming a mechanic in this day and age? And that's what we're gonna answer in this question, in this car ride, on this diagnosis, in this 2015 Nissan Altima. Stay tuned. I get back to you after the intro. Alrighty. So I'm gonna attempt. I need to just start carrying my selfie stick with me, so I don't have to be holding the camera every time I roll. But what was going on with this car? This customer was complaining to me that the car was stalling, hesitating, was not getting any type of acceleration when trying to give it acceleration. So what I decided to do was come out here and check it out. So upon hooking up my scanner and checking everything out, everything led back to the number one, bank one. It's a 4-cylinder, so it's only one bank one. Front upstream O2 sensor. So I was like, well, let's see what's going on. After I checked it out, I have my handy dandy scan tool right now. Let me show you guys what it was doing, which is not doing now. First, right now it's in open loop. Of course, it was not going into closed loop. Second, short-term fuel trim percentage right here was our problem. I was getting 0. First, I was getting absolutely nothing, but then I strolled down to see if I was getting any voltage at sensor number 1. That is O2 B1S1 voltage, and I was getting voltage. So I'm just like this right now. I'm getting 2. The highest I got was 3.7. Sorry, I got a gangster lean to hold the computer from falling. There we go. I was getting 3.7 to 3.8 volts, which I always thought was extremely high for O2 sensors. Older cars usually don't go past, you know, 5 or 0.5 volts or 1 volt actually, which is on our long-term fuel trim. That's exactly what long-term. Our secondary O2 sensor. It's so hard to do this while driving. I apologize. I'm getting it together. Our long-term fuel trim is doing very good, and the voltage for it was at a normal range. What I'm used to seeing is under 1 volt, right? So never mind that. Voltage seems to be within range because it's not doing anything funny and it's not overheating to the point where it's blowing out a sensor. So I'm not too focused on that. What I was focused on, however, is the short-term fuel trim for sensor number 1 was not reading anything. Like right now, it's reading 0. So that's great. That's fine and dandy. That means you got a great air fuel ratio and the engine's doing what it was supposed to do. The problem is, this time for the customer, it was actually making the vehicle hesitate and eventually stall. So first thing I did, because you can see now it's showing again, it is reading good. The closer to 0 it is, the better it is. That means your tune is good and everything is functioning properly. Catalytic converters, air filter, mass airflow sensor, etc. I first, because all the codes were leaning towards O2 sensor, I've rarely ran into an instance where oxygen sensor has actually been bad. I have seen them bad because no matter what I did, it's getting voltage. It just would not output a signal, and so in that case it would be, but I mean, out of 1,000 cars it's been like 1. So oxygen sensors within themselves, I found, typically don't go out. knowing how they work with the voltage, the ground, and then the heating elements or the heating wire, so they can get to the anticipated temperature faster, helps out a lot. And I mix them up all the time, to be honest with you, from 1 wire, 2 wire, 3 wire, and like on this Nissan, for instance, 4 wire is still essentially 2 heating elements and a power and a ground signal. So with that being said, I took the sensor out, bank 1 sensor, number 1 sensor, sprayed it down with parts cleaner, sprayed all in the inside, all on the outside, cleaned it up nice and good, wiped it off with a rag, sprayed it off again, let it air dry, and then put a coat of anti-seize around the threads, pop that bad boy back in. Also use PB Blaster to get it off. Even though it's a new car, I probably wouldn't have had a problem. I noticed there wasn't really any specialized thread sealer on there, so I not only like to do it that way because it's better to take it off later, but also because I know if I need to do any more testing or replace it, well, I guess it's the same thing, it's gonna be easy for me. So once I put it back in, I was getting a go lean command because it was reading positive 25, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this isn't good. Now what's going on? It went from not reading to reading, way above range. So I just kept driving, let it get to the heating point where the engine was actually warmed up, and lo and behold, after that, it started reading in some normal ranges. It was plus or minus 8%. So I'm like, great. Then I thought to myself, mass airflow sensors usually cause problems with the oxygen sensor because they're getting some funky readings from the air fuel or the air, which is making the fuel mixture go crazy. So I decided to pull over and check the air filter. Lo and behold, the air filter was bad. So not to the point where I would have been like, oh, you got to change it right now, but there was leaves, dust. The top part looked great, and I think she told me she had got it checked by somebody else. So I don't want to make this too long-winded, but I want to go ahead and clear up what I think you should check. This is without having a manual or a schematic of anything to actually help me dictate what the problem actually is. I'm just going by common diagnostic analysis. And the first thing I did was check to see what our codes were. I also went in with my scan tool, checked, it was an oxygen sensor in this instance, checked to see what my fuel trims were. That wasn't getting anything, so I strolled down to see what my voltages were, see that I'm getting voltage, so that means that there's at least power and ground or power going to the O2 sensor. Came back out, checked connections, checked the plug, took it out, cleaned it up, put it back in, took out the air filter, cleaned that, put it back in, and it has been 35 minutes, or 0 minutes, 35 miles since I have cleared that code, and so far so good. So I'm gonna keep on rolling. I told the customer what was going on. She says fine, just if you can, make sure you find the problem. She was happy with it. I'm happy with it. I love to be out here on my grind, and cars like these have made me realize that it's time to step this game back up. I gotta get more education. I need to get more technology. I need to get more knowledge so I can better assist the world in my pursuit to make automotive excellence. I am the gold standard of automotive excellence, baby. That's what it is. So code P015A, check your mass airflow sensor, check your air filter, clean off both of them, put them back in. If you clean the mass airflow sensor, please do so with some CRC mass airflow sensor cleaner. That other stuff will burn out the filaments inside, and that is the last thing that you want. Then check your air filter, make sure that that is good, and go from there. And then you can get some easy peasy non-check engine light driving going on for your Nissan. I hope that helps y'all out there, mi gente. I lost my breath. Until next time, vi pro mundo beneficio siempre. Peace.